security researchers found actual backdoors built into one of the most expensive smart beds on the market, the kind of flaw that could let a stranger remotely access the device sitting under you while you sleep. Hit like and subscribe right now, because today's video compares 3 completely different ways to track sleep: an under-mattress pad, a full smart bed system, and a wearable ring, then gets into what these companies have actually been caught doing. All 3 chase the same problem. Roughly 1 in 3 American adults regularly doesn't get enough sleep, and each device promises to explain why without an actual overnight stay in a sleep lab wired up to a dozen sensors. Withings Sleep Analyzer suits anyone who hates wearing anything to bed. A thin pad slides under the mattress, plugs into the wall, and quietly reads heart rate, breathing, movement, and snoring. Nothing worn, nothing charged. $130 to $200 buys it outright, and its standout feature runs genuinely deep. FDA-registered sleep apnea detection, something most wearables don't even attempt. Clinical validation from 2025 puts overall sleep versus wake accuracy around 83 to 87%. Solid, if a step behind the best wearables, though its respiratory analysis is where reviewers say it truly shines. 8 Sleep flips the approach entirely, turning the whole mattress into the tracking device. The pod system doesn't just monitor sleep, it actively cools or heats each side of the bed in real time based on sleep stage, backed by a company that's raised over $100 million specifically to build what it calls the world's largest biometric sleep dataset. It's also the priciest option by a wide margin, running $2,000 to $6,000 depending on setup, and unlike the other two, its most useful features sit behind a mandatory subscription that runs from $199 to $299 a year. Rings round out the category, and we've already covered Whoop, Oura, and Hume in an earlier video on this channel. Short version, Oura's Ring. 4 remains the sleep benchmark, validated in peer-reviewed studies at accuracy comparable to actual polysomnography, running $300 to $500 plus membership. Worth knowing if that subscription bothered you though. Circular Ring. 2-track sleep stages, HRV, and temperature with no subscription required ever. Here's the honest breakdown. Breathing and snoring data plus an aversion to wearables point straight at Withings. Temperature-wrecking sleep, paired with real money to spend, makes 8 Sleep worth it, since nothing else on this list even attempts that problem. And the most clinically validated sleep staging available still belongs to a ring, whether that's Oura's track record or Circular's subscription-free approach. Now for the part that matters more than which one has the nicer app. Real value backs this category. Sleep deprivation counts as a massive underdiagnosed public health problem, and devices flagging something like sleep apnea, a condition that goes undiagnosed in most people who have it, do genuinely important work steering people toward an actual diagnosis. 8 Sleep specifically has run into trouble the other two haven't come close to matching. Around 2023, the company quietly moved previously free features behind a mandatory paywall, stacked on top of a system already costing thousands. Worse followed in 2025, when a class action lawsuit hit 8 Sleep alleging fake sale prices on its website. Crossed out numbers, California law says must reflect an actual price charged within 90 days, which the lawsuit claims simply weren't real. That pattern should sound familiar. It's nearly identical to what Nike and red light therapy brands got sued over. The same strike-through discount trick surfacing again in yet another wellness category. February of 2025 brought something more alarming still: active SSH backdoors and exposed AWS keys discovered in 8 Sleep systems, a vulnerability that could allow unauthorized remote access to the device. And underneath all of that sits a detail that drew real attention online. 8 Sleep's own privacy policy permits selling sleep data, and because the sensors detect a second person in the bed, a partner who never signed up for anything can have their own biometric data collected right alongside the owners. Withings' problems land milder by comparison, though still worth flagging. Sleep scores dropped without explanation in July of 2025, after an app update changed how heart rate data got evaluated, with some users seeing 2 different numbers for the same night depending on whether they checked the app or the website. Nothing at lawsuit level, but a reminder that even the more privacy-friendly option here isn't immune to reliability problems. So here's where that leaves anyone shopping this category. All three approaches genuinely work, and the right one depends on what's actually disrupting sleep and how much anyone's willing to spend fixing it. Before committing thousands to a smart bed system specifically, reading exactly what happens to that data and a partner's data once it leaves the mattress matters. And a strike-through discount in this industry has become less of a deal and more of a red flag worth double-checking first. If this helped settle which approach actually fits your setup, that's exactly what the like button is for, and subscribe if the next comparison sounds worth catching before it drops.